Ooh, hello, hello. Yes, I believe I'm live again today. Hello, and happy Tuesday of March. Yay! Spring is hopefully in the air. Hopefully soon. Yes, as usual, just
March.
yes, I'm
Spring.
alive. It is wonderful. It's actually a very nice day out here from my palatial estate in Collingwood. Hopefully it stays that way, but again, we never know. And again, like I always say, let's just stay inside and sew. We don't have to worry about the weather. So hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. It's fabulous to see you all on this beautiful Tuesday of March and National Quilting Month. Last month we had National Embroidery Month, and then this month is National Quilting Month. So it's wonderful that I am back here live in the Janome Sewing Machines Facebook page, Janome Canada's Facebook page, and Janome HQ YouTube and Janome America's YouTube, and anywhere to, share the Janome love, and here to specifically go over, oh, Shirley is here, hello, hello, specifically to go over some quilters checklists. I wrote myself just a very quick little look at all of my wish list here. As a quilter of now going on 33 years, there's definitely some items that we would like when we're looking at all the fabulous Janome machines. We go online, we go to our dealer store, and there's so many machines out there. And as a quilter in particular, you may be wondering, oh, well, what kind of features do I need? What would be very helpful to have? What would be certainly very lovely to have? All those bells and whistles that we don't necessarily need. But they certainly make the process much more enjoyable. And I'm of the opinion it's always good to get a machine you can grow into. Don't always think, oh, well, I'm just a beginner and I don't want to spend a lot of money and, I don't really need a lot of things. Well, sure, take that into consideration. But I always think let's just get a machine, again, that you can grow into, that you're not going to grow out of so quickly. And then again, that just keeps longer and longer. I still have my little machine, little first Janome 33 years ago. It's still going strong. Now, sure, now I sew on the big CM17, but I still will never part with that little machine. It was wonderful. Got me all through college, and my first, probably 40 quilts were on that little machine. So yes, with no further ado, my name is Michael Smith, the National Education Manager of Janome Canada, and I'm back here live to share with you some machine quilting. Let's flip this camera. For a quilter, for some specific machine features that are very handy to have. Yes, hello everyone. Oh, it's wonderful. It seems everybody. Oh, from Ireland. Hello, hello. That's wonderful. I love, again, we can share the Janome love around the world. So today I am on, the fabulous Janome Skyline S7 AE is the anniversary edition. And we have celebrated 10 years of this Skyline line. There's a Skyline S3, an S5, an S6, S7, and then an S9, which is sewing, quilting, and embroidery. All those other machines are just sewing machines and can do certainly quilting. S7 is fabulous for many, many reasons. Yes, Lisa loves her S9. Oh, I know, they're all good. But again, as a quilter, what machine features, again, what would we like to have? Well, for many of us, the throat space, the more space we have here, and when we talk about throat space or harp space, it's from center needle position over to the body of the machine. So in this case, for the S7, for all the Skyline machines, they are all 8.3 inches by 4.7. So it's not only the throat space width-wise is always nice, but also consider height-wise. When we roll up our quilt, sometimes, especially if we're doing free motion quilting or ruler quilting, and we roll up our quilt, the big roll will be here. So having a machine that is higher here will also help. We also like better visibility of the needle. We've got a great sight line here down to the needle. We can see Right there, speaking of lighting, you can see the LED lighting here and down here by the needle, right where we need it. The throat space and the lighting are the two most common reasons for people to upgrade their machine. So getting a machine right off the top, again, Skyline S7 Anniversary Edition, is not considered a beginner machine. It's not considered entry level. But it's not so overwhelming. We do have a beautiful LCD screen and touch controls, but it's not so overwhelming that even as a relatively beginner sewist, beginner quilter, this is not too overwhelming. So you'd be surprised how easy it is to learn. So it's wonderful to have all that extra space, all that beautiful LED lighting. We certainly have lots of convenient controls like stop, start, reverse, the lock stitch, what'll just stitch in place so we don't have to back stitch or worrying about securing our seams. Needle up and down, very handy. Automatic presser foot lift. Now we can reach around to the back. And one thing we love about, I think, almost every Janome machine has this extra high presser foot lift. Like, I can get my finger right under there. So when we're doing quilting through thicker layers, or, you know, when we're doing tote bags, a lot of us quilters, you know, we get into making tote bags, we use all the stabilizers, and this is a product called the Flex Foam specifically, that gives us body in our tote bags. So if I were to use this, for example, for my tote bag, well, look, with that extra high presser foot lift, I can get this thick flex foam under my needle, no problem. So having these, again, very convenient features, again, just to raise the presser foot. Yes, I could do it at the back, but again, I've got a push button right here. And many of us, of course, love the scissor button, automatic scissors that will cut our threads as well. But did you know, I love when I go to dealer stores and point out almost every Janome machine has this, where it's the side thread holder from front to back. It's a thread holder, and from back to front, it's a thread cutter. It is on almost every Janome machine, and people are amazed that they, you know, spend all this money, they have this machine, and they don't realize they have that. So that's a very wonderful, handy feature there. So yes, going down my checklist here, again, we want more throat space, lighting. Look at this big, beautiful extension table that comes with the Skyline Anniversary Editions machine here in Canada. I can't speak about around the world if they do or not, but in Canada, our Skyline Anniversary Edition machines come with the extension table, fully adjustable legs. You know, I've always sewn with my machine on a table. I've never had where my machine recesses down into a table. That's also available. Check with your Janome dealer what sewing furniture they have. But for those, again, like me, I've been sewing on the old kitchen table for about 40 years, that having this extension table is really handy. Look at all this extra room. So as I'm doing my piecing, my quilting, and my project is growing, I have this extension table. That's definitely something to look for. If it's not included in your machine, check with your Janome dealer. Maybe there's an extension table available separately for your machine. Oh, and of course, things like, I can't forget to mention, because Skyline S7 and all the Skyline range, all of them except the S9 got updated to celebrate the 10th anniversary. So included in the anniversary edition machines, again, that would be Skyline S3, S5, S6, and S7. We have these beautiful blue bobbins, 100th anniversary, with a little cleaning cloth for your LCD screen. These cute little blue clips. I love the clips as opposed to pins. But when you need to pin, look, isn't this adorable? Look, it is what also included. A cute little pin cushion with blue pins that just goes up here in the top of the machine, which is where the auxiliary spool pin goes. But when we're not using that, and that's a great feature to have, the auxiliary spool pin. Again, a number of Janome machines either have two vertical spool pins at the back of the machine, or they'll have the horizontal auxiliary spool pin that will attach into the hole at the top of the machine. That way we can wind a bobbin without having to unthread our needle thread. So that's a very convenient feature for any kind of sewing. Quilting especially, we always need nice full bobbins. But you know, if your machine doesn't come with this beautiful little blue pin cushion available separately, there's these cute little polka dot pin cushions available separately. There's a yellow and white, a blue and white, a red and white, and I think a pink and white. So double check with your Janome dealer. You too can get a cute little pin cushion when you have to use pins. So that's available. Again, all of our 350 stitches in the Skyline S7. Stitches are another things we quilters generally look for. Now, sure, when we're doing our regular piecing, we just use a regular straight stitch. But isn't it nice when I go into convenient features like the touchscreen LCD screen? Look, I have all these stitches from which to choose. So yes, we can just use a regular utility straight stitch, but oh, I can go into the quilting category, and now I have some specific stitches that are going to help our quilting. For example, this piecing stitch. Stitch number 1 is P. It stands for piecing. I could use that with center needle position and the LCD screen. Again, this is where it's a very user-friendly, very beginner-friendly machine. The LCD screen tells me to use the A foot, the zigzag foot, which is on my machine. Or when I go into the dedicated 1/4 of an inch piecing stitch, stitch number 2, you'll see the line of stitching is moved over to the right, and now the machine is telling me to use the included O foot, which for all Janome machines, doesn't matter which model it is, the O foot is the 1/4 of an inch foot. And we love having that dedicated 1/4 of an inch stitch. Again, my needle has moved automatically over to the right. And then here I've got this beautiful metal guide on my 1/4 of an inch foot here. And then I have a notch that's 1/4 of an inch from center needle position is up here. 1/4 of an inch from that edge. So the raw edge of my fabric is here. I know exactly where to stop and pivot if I want to pivot, or if I want to stop sewing 1/4 of an inch from that edge of the fabric. There's a guide right on my foot. There is also a guide back here. So if I wanted to start sewing 1/4 of an inch from the edge of the fabric, when I start my seam, I can align my fabric up here and then start sewing. So the dedicated presser feet are also another thing that we look for when we're looking at machines. And again, we like that convenience of the snap-on feet, just snap on and off. Now, also included, we have the regular zigzag needle plate, but, ooh, I'm all tethered. We have so much included with so many of our machines. Let's double check the accessory compartment. The Skyline machine, as with a number of our Janome machines, we like the flexibility of converting it to a free arm, for example. So we remove the extension table, but make sure whatever your machine, you look in the accessory compartments and all the goodies that it comes with. And places like, did you know, in a lot of these accessory trays or extension tables, as we call them, as we pull this away, there's room underneath for your needle plates. So Skyline S7 Anniversary Edition, for example, comes with the straight stitch needle plate that has that center needle position and a right and a left needle position. So when we're doing our 1/4 of an inch piecing, for example, we always recommend, or we're doing ruler quilting, free motion quilting, we recommend the straight stitch needle plate. So with one touch, maybe you can see down here, there's a little lever right underneath my extension table that you can't quite see. Oh, maybe you'll see my fingers under here. The one touch needle plate conversion. Boom. That is something else we would look for in machines. The convenience, again, I keep using that word over and over again, but the convenience of being able to switch out the needle plates. We don't need the screwdriver in this case. And then, did you know the little bullseye here on the needle plates? That's where we're suggested to put our finger. Like Janome thinks about everything. So click, done. Now you'll see, again, why do we spend a little more for our machines? And again, as a beginner, this is a great, or again, more entry level. It's great to have a machine that does some thinking for you. So it'll help you avoid some potential mistakes. So it's telling us the straight stitch needle plate is on. Make sure you have the proper presser foot. And then boom, all of the incompatible stitches, like the zigzag stitches, are gone. The decorative stitches are gone. We cannot select them. So that means we cannot break our needle as easily. It's too easy to get distracted. So in this case, the machine does some thinking for us. So again, we can easily snap on our 1/4 inch foot here. Oops, easily snap it on. And then to do our piecing. Now, the great thing about most of our machines, we do piecing and then we do the free motion quilting, or the ruler quilting is an option in some machines. So when I'm going to be doing this 1/4 inch stitch with my needle to the right, you'll see it is already preset at 8.3. So that's the suggested 1/4 inch. It's also shortened my stitch length to 1.8. So that means, again, it's a tighter stitch. We don't have to physically adjust the machine to adjust the stitch width or the stitch length. It's already preset. So that's a great convenient feature. But you'll see here in my 2 examples, as I take my little ruler up here to measure my 1/4 inch, it is perfectly that perfect 1/4 inch at 8.3. I just align my fabric up with this metal guide, drop my foot, and then away I go. And it's perfect at that 1/4 inch. But if we want that scant 1/4 that everybody's talking about, depending on what we're piecing, sometimes we need this is a slightly more shallow seam, which maybe you'll be able to see. I've gone over, there's several videos on the Janome HQ YouTube channel, Janome Life blog, all about piecing and quilting, lots of resources available. Do you see here from this 1/4 inch line in my stitching, my ruler is off that fabric. It's a slightly more scant 1/4 inch. How did I achieve that? Oh, easily. I just push this button on my LCD screen to move my needle over more to the right. In our Skyline S7 anniversary edition, for example, we have a 9mm wide zigzag needle plate here, so I can move my needle to the right 9.0. That is going to produce that beautiful scant 1/4 inch. It's that simple. So there's all these little tips and tricks that you can do with a number of our Janome machines. It's great if you can go to the dealer store and sit down and practice and find a machine that's right for you. And did you know as well, here on our patented needle plate, for example, I will point out, again, convenience on a number of our Janome, even the basic entry-level machines, we have a lot of marks on our needle plates. For example, on this patented needle plate here, for our 9mm, we have this big line. That is center needle position, horizontal center needle position. That is where we should be aligning our fabric. Not here, not way up here. That's where we should be aligning our fabric. So the needle is right there. We take one stitch then into the fabric. But if we want to go, oh, a 1/4 inch, again, from that center needle position, why, look, there's another 1/4 inch line right there. We want to start a 1/4 inch back. Why, look, there's another 1/4 inch right there. It's all marked in our patented needle plate. When we want 1/4 of an inch, again, seaming vertically, ooh, if you can see in the bobbin cover, again, we have 1/8 of an inch. And then in between 1/8 and 3/8 is 1/4. And there's a tick mark there, a tick mark there, a tick mark there, a tick mark up here, right by the feed dogs, and a tick mark here. So recently on social media, I saw some comments saying, oh, I wish Janome would mark their needle plates a little more so I could see my 1/4 of an inch. There's 1 marking, 2 marking, 3 marking, 4 marking, 5 marking. And even another lady commented and said, how many more markings do you need? There's 5 on that needle plate. Now I realize maybe for some people that's a little harder to read. I hear sometimes people darken those in with a Sharpie, or they put a piece of painter's tape, or there is for Skyline S7 and a number of our Skyline machines, this little notch here in our extension table is because there is a cloth guide, an optional cloth guide that will work with the Skyline machines, and it will slide along the bed so it could line up with our 1/4 of an inch, for example. We also have the metal cloth guide that'll screw into this needle plate. So there are some additional accessories for your machine that will help you line everything up. Additional accessories, for example, oh, well, that's another thing that we would love for our machine. Again, we get a machine that we can grow into. So I mentioned here, included in the machine is a O-foot with a guide. As an optional accessory for a number of our machines, there is an O-foot without a guide, for example. And when we're going to piece all of our layers together, quilt all of our layers together, for example, my beautiful quilt sandwich here, and when we're going to attach our binding, for example, we're feeding lots of layers together. We have either an even feed foot, or here with Skyline S7, we have the AccuFeed Flex foot with those upper set of feed teeth. That's a wonderful accessory to have for our machine. And simply to activate AccuFeed is this little 3 triangles and the 2 lines, boom, and it says make sure proper presser foot is attached. It's turned yellow, so I know it's active. There is my LCD screen that has changed. So having this AccuFeed Flex foot with these upper set of feed teeth will definitely help feed our extra layers, again, as I'm quilting, attaching my binding, for example. Now, this comes with the machine, but oh, did you know there's extra, like the OD AccuFeed Flex foot that has the 1/4 of an inch guide. So I could even use it to attach the binding if I wish. And very simple to click on and off, boom. Now I have switched out the foot. So this is the dual or twin AccuFeed Flex foot holder. These are the actual feet. So the AD zigzag foot comes with our machine, but then for many machines, then we can get this OD AccuFeed Flex foot, extra foot, or the SD ditch quilting foot with that rudder there that'll help part the seas when we're going to be ditch quilting. And again, they just snap on very easily. So let's look for a machine. I always recommend let's look for a machine where, again, we can grow into and get additional accessories. Now, one big thing for Skyline S7 AE, oh yes, that HP needle plate. An HP foot is now an optional, and I emphasize the word optional, accessory for Skyline S7 Anniversary Edition only. And there is this fabulous kit. I don't even have one, but I can print it out to show you. This is similar to the, yes, and Lisa says the HP plate is wonderful. It's compatible with the S9. And many previous Skyline S7 owners said, well, can't we update our machines as well? The original Skyline S7 had different innards, different guts, so it couldn't be updated. But with Skyline S7 AE, they did different guts to the machine. So we're now able to get this fabulous, it's the Skyline S7 AE Anniversary Edition Advanced Accessory Kit, and comes in a little box there, again with the 10th anniversary logo. And it's similar to the 15,000 upgrade kit that we had a few years ago. The HP foot and HP needle plate stands for high performance. Yes, Claudette has it for her 6700. It is fabulous. When we want that perfect 1/4 of an inch, this is the go-to for most quilters. So again, it doesn't come with our Skyline S7, but we can use these as the accessory, again, for that perfect 1/4 of an inch. So that comes included. The open toe darning foot included with our Skyline S7 AE is the closed toe darning foot. So when we're doing all this free motion quilting, we just drop our feed dogs and we attach this darning foot, and it's got a spring on it, so it hops up and down. Now, I did the A to Z with Janome series on the Janome HQ YouTube channel, so lots of presser foot demos there. This is the PDH darning foot, so it's the P episode. So there's the closed toe. So included in the accessory kit is the open toe. Also included in the accessory kit, isn't that convenient, the O foot with no guide. There's the variable zigzag foot, which is another quilting technique. And then there, that QR ruler foot. So yes, when we're going to expand our skills, maybe for quilting, we're going to primarily be a piecer. And then for quilting, maybe we're going to do some free motion quilting or maybe some straight line quilting with our AccuFeed Flex foot here. But then we want to get into a ruler quilting. And of course, go back to our live presentations here on the respective Facebook feeds or respective YouTube channels for my ruler quilting demos. We can get this QR ruler foot in a separate blister pack, or it comes included in this Skyline S7 advanced kit. So we can get that QR ruler foot. I also recommend, yes, that low tension blue dot bobbin holder. It's available for most machines, so double check with your Janome dealer. So when we want to do, again, ruler quilting, like I did on my beautiful little bag here, this is the bag that we've made with the Janome 6-piece ruler kit. So now we can do ruler quilting with our machine by getting, again, the extra accessories that down the road, we don't have to get it right now. It's going to be available, you know, so we don't have to get everything right now. But again, think of a machine that you can grow into. So maybe you want to get into ruler quilting. Well, great. Specifically for Skyline S7, we have that here. Now, if you're thinking for a Skyline machine in particular, and for many of our machines, you go on to janome.com or janome.ca, you can print out like this handy comparison chart, for example, that shows you the many different features of Skyline S7 as opposed to the S6, the S5, and the S3. How many stitches or how many stitches are included? What kind of features? Is it a 7mm or 9mm, for example? You can print that all out and then go to your Janome dealer and have a look. And things, other convenient features. This auto presser foot lift, for example. So as I'm sewing along, I select it. Ooh, I select it and it's yellow. So I'm sewing along my auto presser foot lift here. So just randomly, whoops, again, I love a machine that does some thinking for me. I'm sewing along and then I'm going to stop by having that auto pivot function. Oh, look, it's raised my foot automatically. My needle is dropped automatically into the fabric. And now maybe I can, pivot my fabric, whatever I need to do. Or maybe I just need to adjust my hands a little bit, but by automatically sinking the needle in the fabric, that'll just help support it a little bit more. Now, sure, we do have the automatic needle up and down, and we do have the automatic presser foot lift here. But again, that auto presser foot lift function, that's also a very desirable, very handy feature. And specifically, Kimberly Imo, Janome America's national spokeswoman, has a video on the Janome America YouTube channel all about this auto presser foot lift and 1/4 of an inch. I have done it in previous lives. So again, lots of information there. And oh, again, as usual, my time is running out. Oh, things like fonts. Maybe we would like a machine that has a variety of fonts. In this case, Skyline S7 has 5 built in. Quilt labels, as we're getting into quilt, or maybe even as a garment sewer and you want to label your garments, but specifically label your quilts. We have 5 different fonts built into Skyline S7, for example. And yes, you can just say, you know, made by, or, you know, you can combine it. That's the little needle stitch, decorative stitch. So again, the versatility of our machine. Now you may wonder, but oh, my fonts, they're grayed out. I can't select them. Remember, the machine does some thinking for us. So that straight stitch needle plate is on. I see this question in social media all the time. I can't access my quilting stitches, or my decorative stitches, because we have that straight stitch needle plate on. So I need to find what I did with my zigzag needle plate. That's the trouble. Oh, there we go. That's the trouble when I have so much here. But yes, then we can attach our zigzag needle plate back into place. And now, oh yes, there, our fonts are in the A category, and the fonts that are built into our machine. So we can type in whatever we would like very easily. In this case, then I have selected, again, we should do large or small. I've selected capitals. We could select lowercase. There's so many things that we could do. Again, combine it with the decorative stitches built into our machine. And again, fonts are great to have for labels. And then, oh, convenient things like, now, any presser foot is good, although we do have the stop-start button in this case. That is also convenient in many machines. You don't have to worry about the foot pedal. Maybe you've got some dexterity issue. So by using the stop-start button, we unplug the foot pedal. We don't even need to use it. But included in a number of machines, again, more higher-end machines, but we have this beautiful, fabulous, extra large foot pedal. And then to keep it from creeping around all over the place, we have the so comfortable, this is the non-slip foot pedal pad. It's like this rubbery, grippy surface that we lay our foot pedal on, and it's not going anywhere. So you don't have to chase your foot pedal all around the floor. So check with your Janome dealer if they have things like from the So Comfortable line, this non-slip foot pedal pad, regardless of what foot pedal you have, will help keep it into position. So again, there is so much that we could get for our machine. And speaking of presser foot lift, I should have mentioned the knee lifter. Do you see the knee lifter here? Also comes included with a number of machines. And look at that. Just by using the knee, we can raise and lower our presser foot that way. So again, it makes it totally hands-free, that we can keep our hands on our quilt, again, doing free motion quilting. And we don't have to stop and raise and lower the foot. Since I mentioned free motion quilting a few times, again, very quickly, you can check out your instruction manual, or again, go on to the respective Janome websites and check out the various manuals there. Well, I'll put this on better fabric. But for free motion quilting, again, included with a number of machines, we have the closed toe darning foot. This is the closed toe free motion foot. That is the clear view foot that has got some registration lines on it. Very handy for stitching around applique. For example, many good uses. This is the open toe free motion foot. So many extra feet included in a number of machines. It's not just piecing, but then we've got also the actual quilting feet. And again, like our AccuFeed Flex foot or the even feed or dual feed foot. A number of machines also come with the quilting guide bar, so we can attach it into our AccuFeed Flex foot holder here, for example. So when I attach this to my machine, I have this 2-inch guide, which I can maneuver to the various lines of the stitching. So it just makes it easy. I don't have to mark my fabric as much. So I have so many things included on my list here. What would you have included in your list is really up to you, but there in a whirlwind are some features that I myself personally love, and then what I hear from a number of people when I go to the dealer stores and again on social media what they like. Now, even a dust cover, many people do like to cover their machines. I never do because I'm always using mine. But things like magnets, the machine does come, the Skyline S7 AE comes with a beautiful dust cover. But now magnets, people didn't like the Velcro, the hook and loop tape. So we have magnets now. So Janome does listen to the feedback. And then there is a pocket at the back of this dust cover, perfect spot for your instruction manual, your big extra large foot pedal, because another feature to look for a machine. Can I take this to class? Maybe you have a CM17. You don't want to take that machine to class, but maybe you'd look for a Skyline S7 AE. It's also a 9mm, as a CM17 is. You have a lot of the same features, the same stitches, but Skyline S7 in particular is 24 pounds versus the 40-something pounds that the CM17 is. Skyline S7, all the Skyline machines are about the same weight, again, about 24 pounds. They're about, I think it's 20 inches wide by just over 8 inches. It's about 8.5 inches deep, and I believe it's 12.5 inches high. So it's not a really big machine, doesn't take up a ton of room in your sewing room, not too heavy to take to classes. And, you know, things like, oh yes, our beautiful thread stand, for example, will fit on the back of the machine. But again, I just clip mine over the back of the handles as I demoed in previous lives. So there is no end to all the fabulous additional accessories and presser feet you can get from your Janome dealer for all of our machines. But especially when you're, again, looking for a machine that you want some quilting features, convenient quilting features to help you not only make it faster and easier, but also improve your results. As you saw here in my little whirlwind kind of demos there, so much is available for you. So definitely check on the respective Janome sites and go see your fabulous Janome dealer, what fabulous machines they have for you. So thank you everyone so much for joining me today, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.